Hello.
Hi.
Hello, everyone. Oh, welcome. Well, first of all, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy
Thank
New
you
Year.
so much for joining us. We are here today to talk about the next book in our Abby Jimenez read-along, which is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. Just such a wonderful book. I'm so excited to talk about it. But we're all going to discuss the rating and stuff, but I'll let everyone introduce themselves, do initial thoughts and ratings, and then if you guys are not already following everybody that's here, they're linked down below as well as their Instagrams. Karina, you want to kick us off? Oh, that color is terrible. Hold on, let me fix that.
Hey guys, I'm Karina from She Dreams of Words here on YouTube and on Instagram. This was my fourth read of it, and I just adored it. 5 stars every time. Every time.
Oh, it's me. Hey everyone, it's Tara from Tara Talks Books here on BookTube or YouTube and Instagram. But this was my first read of Part of Your World, and I loved it. I gave it a 5-star. It is amazing. I see what you guys were talking about. I tabbed some places which I don't typically do, but so I adored it. So excited to talk about it.
That's you. I'm asking. Hey, my name's B on YouTube and Instagram, and I guess not Twitter. What's the other one? TikTok. But I didn't do anything with it, so never mind. Don't look for me there. Anyway, I have Abby Jimenez here. Oh my gosh, this was like Karina. This was my 4th reading, which yes, I read it physically, but also Zachary Weber, Julia Whalen. Yes.
Yes.
I could listen to this book. I mean, I got to do a reread every year, I think. I think that's what I have to do. I initially gave this 6 stars, and then upon several rereads, I did put it down to perfect 5 stars. We'll talk about that a little bit later. That makes it sound bad, though, doesn't it? But it's 5 stars. It's one of my favorite books of all time. So, yeah, that's me.
Yay.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dana. You can find me on YouTube at Dana Ella and Instagram at Dana Ella Reads. I have a copy of it. I've got multiple copies, but I don't have one sitting here. So here's my copy. It's my 2nd time reading it, and wow. Just, it was perfection the first time. It's perfection still. So 5 stars.
All right. Hi, Kaylani. I am Kaylani from Kaylanisimplyme on Instagram, YouTube, and maybe Twitch. We'll see. This is also, it should have been my 3rd read, but it's actually my 2nd, and I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. I think this book is one of her best. I just think she just really honed in on what she likes to write and did it well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Kaylani, I have to ask, and I know Karina has the copy too. Where is that gorgeous copy from?
This is Eternal Embers.
Eternal Embers. Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so they did books 1 and 2. I don't know, Karina, if you have yours nearby.
Oh, which one? Yours truly?
I can grab it if you don't have it.
Did yours truly?
Yeah, I'll show you.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to see. Oh, I'm so
excited. Just for the Summer is like a crossover because it's Stimulant and Eternal Embers. So that's why it's a hardcover.
Get it?
Oh,
it's the same art style.
Gotcha.
So this is Part of Your World. And then it has this beautiful art on the back. And then it does actually have art on the inside of their date.
I love it.
Okay, I need to go shopping right now. I'm going shopping.
And then this is yours truly.
Oh, I love it so much.
I can't wait for those pictures to make sense.
Yeah. And then this is the art for them.
Oh, so cute.
I don't actually have, just for the summer, the special edition readily available, but that one is beautiful as well. Okay, let me run through these comments really quick. Hi, Nikita.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Liz.
Hi, Liz.
Hey, Liz.
Hi, Latifa.
Hello.
Lots of hellos. Didn't reread, but will always be a 5-star. Love. Hi, Megan.
Hey, Megan.
Hi, Josephine. 5 stars forever. Love.
Yes.
Hi, Melody. No question. 5 stars. 4.5.
Okay.
This is a book that got me started with Abby, and I haven't looked back since. I know the 4.5 was like in the sea of fives, but still a fantastic rating.
Yes, exactly. What'd you say?
If that's the lowest rating, I think, we're on a
I think it's a winner.
He's still
Yeah. Truly. This was my first read ever of Abby Jimenez was this book.
Oh,
And then
Me too, yeah.
Yeah.
5 stars every time. Zachary Weber is just
So good.
See, I started off on audio, and then I came up on Libby, and my hold expired, so I finished.
No.
And that's when I tabbed. I finished with, what is it called? Physical.
There you go.
Best of both worlds.
Right?
Stanley? Am I reading that right?
That's how I'd say it.
Well,
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't had any coffee yet, so this is my first cup. So 5 stars. Hi everyone. Hi Amber. 5 stars, of course.
Of course.
Amber.
Daniel is the greenest flag there is. He truly is.
Literally.
Yes.
Mhm.
So true.
Hi,
Hey,
Kristen.
Kristen.
Loved it so much. I just read it constantly over the last few days. Oh, such a good one.
Right?
Read it.
And Megan just bought it too. She'd been waiting for it at her library. It was not coming up. And so she just bit the bullet and bought it. And I bet you're glad, Megan.
Money well
Mhm.
spent.
Forever. I love it.
That is coin that I would gladly spend again and again.
Totally.
Yeah.
Karina, I didn't mean to
Totally.
cut you off.
No, I think we'll all agree when we say that was a good investment.
Right.
Especially if you reread it,
Yeah, absolutely.
because it's rereadable.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I feel like at any point in time, I could pick it up for a reread.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Deborah.
Hi, Deborah.
Deborah.
Lots of hellos.
Yeah.
I love that everyone is just so like eager to say hi to everyone. It makes me so like
I know,
giddy
it's
inside.
Community.
I think Karina recommended it during a swoony sprint to me, and it was the best decision ever.
Wow.
I
Love a good recommendation that works out.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah. That was
It's like
nice.
a weight off of Karina's shoulders because like that fear when you recommend something and you're just like,
Yeah.
what if they hate it? Like it's like,
Yeah.
It's good. So I'm glad it worked out.
Oh, yes, B, I'm glad. Good. I read Abby's books in order, and they just kept getting better and better. I didn't think I could love anything more than Part of Your World until I read yours truly.
Oh,
My goodness.
that's exciting.
Just
That's
going on up
What-
for me.
Well, have you read Just for the Summer? Just by chance. Just a question.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
I've heard such good things about that one. Like everybody I watched.
I loved it.
Loved it.
She like Stan Lee said, every time it just gets better and better.
Better and better.
I know I told you this already, and I'm going to say it again, but I have Say You'll Remember Me on my Kindle, and it's killing me because I just haven't had time to read it, but it's on there. I'm certainly going to read it before it's out, but yeah, I know. I just can't wait to see what that one's like.
I'm excited.
I'm
The reviews are amazing. that I've seen
Right?
so far, so
Yeah, you lucky ducks that got it early.
Mhm.
I know. I keep shooting my shot in that Facebook group.
Yes, I did, but still love yours truly the most. Okay.
Such a good one.
You know, can't go wrong with 5 stars pitted against 5 stars, you know?
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Part of Your World and Just for the Summer are my 2 faves from her top tier.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Can't wait to finally read it Just for the Summer during this readathon. Yay!
Wow. That's
Yeah.
going to be such a fun discussion.
Yeah.
A gem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and hop into something simple and easy to get us started. Let's talk about our favorite and least favorite characters from this book.
I think this is probably the easiest time I've ever had answering
I
this
was
question.
gonna say, is everybody's favorite Daniel Grant or
No,
what?
of course.
Yes.
Yes.
Also Doug, because Doug,
Oh, Doug,
I love
I
Doug.
love Doug.
Love Doug.
And
Yes.
Bree.
Yes.
Who's the
Right.
older gentleman that they help? I can't remember his name.
Popeye.
Popeye.
Yeah, Popeye. I was like, he like kind of puts it into the air about the town, and I just love
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That little piece of magic.
Right?
I love it.
Totally. I love that. And you know what? I'm going to go off script here and not say Daniel Grant is my favorite character, although he probably is.
Gotta mix it up.
Gotta mix it up. Here we go. Favorite character, the town.
Oh,
There you go. There you go.
I,
I like it.
I
like that.
I got earrings from my mother-in-law that were dragonflies right before I started reading this book, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I should be wearing them right now, darn it!" But the dragonflies meaning new life, and they even incorporate that into if you had a chance to read "All Roads Lead to Here," the bonus story. Did you notice there was a dragonfly in there as well? I'm just saying. But yeah, I just love the town and how magical it is, and
Well,
so cool. Such
I
another
love
level. I
her
love
best friend. Oh, sorry.
Bree.
Yes.
So funny.
I love Brie. You just wait. You'll love Brie too.
you will.
Yeah.
I loved Brie how she goes out to the truck when he comes. You know, when
Oh
she
yeah.
and she's like, "I'm the only person that matters,"
Yeah.
and I was like, "Okay."
That's it, and that's all. You know, like
It
it's
makes
just
him feel so
And
much
I know
better.
about you, and that's what counts.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
I love
that
it.
was such a
so
good
much
scene.
to love. Sorry.
So
Sorry.
much.
I keep talking too much. I'm sorry. I get too excited.
No, I'll talk over you. That's my bad.
There's a lot to talk about.
Right? Yeah.
I think this is a wonderful cast of characters, and I think it says a lot because I think her last cast of characters was so good, but something about these characters in this small town just felt so like quintessential and beautiful and like so fun to watch. But I do think that the two main characters, Daniel and my gosh, I'm choking on my coffee. So sorry. Daniel and Alexis were just so incredible, and they were really like the shining stars, which is they're supposed to be. But sometimes I feel like side characters can kind of overshadow, and that was not the case for this series or for this book. I'm sorry.
I agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I did not like her parents. I didn't like her dad mainly. Obviously, I didn't like her mom, but I feel like there's some things happening in that area. You know what I mean? That's probably been happening for years and years and years, and so she's just taking it. And then I also obviously did not like who is the boyfriend?
Neil.
Neil.
Yeah, name Neil.
Mhm.
Or her friend.
And Amber. Amber was also the worst.
Yeah.
There were a lot of bad ones. Okay.
Yeah.
Who was Daniel's cousin's husband? The chief,
Oh.
whoever the cop figure was.
Oh yeah,
Jake.
Jake. Oh my gosh, I forgot. Yeah. Okay,
As
there's
soon
a
as
lot.
Jake walked in the bar and like gave her her jacket and then kissed her, I was like, "Oh, that's a show. I don't like him."
Yeah.
Wow, Tara. She's a good judge of character.
Automatic.
I was like, I just feel like nope.
Instant no.
He gives the ick immediate ick.
Yes, I was like, he's cringe.
He gets the ick, and unfortunately, he lives up to the ick. So,
Like as soon as he opened that door to walk in
Yep.
to that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, a position of power as a police officer, like that can also play. I was like, oh,
yeah.
something about you doesn't feel right.
Right.
And, you know, this is why they say trust a woman's instincts, because your instincts were on the money. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I love
Hate
it
the
when
BF.
she winds up with Brian. Sorry.
Oh, I know. I love them together. They're so cute.
Yeah, and I was like, yay! And when Doug's like, I wingman both of you guys.
Yeah.
Right? Poor Doug.
I know.
Love it.
I love it.
Justice for Doug.
Right.
We need
And that's
Sherry.
in the situationship.
Yes. I can't wait to read that one.
I know it's
Me
so
too.
fun. So fun.
Hate the BF, love the new BF. Yes,
Mhm.
Daniel is that. He's that
100%.
man.
Mhm.
Daniel is hands down fave. Love the bit of magic with the town.
Yeah.
The dragonflies. There's a bonus story. There is. B, you wanna talk about that?
Oh, sure. Okay. Yes. I love to talk about it. If you email me, or apparently I just talked to somebody on my email today. I forwarded her the email. She's like, "Oh, I subscribed to her newsletter, Abby Jimenez's newsletter a couple months ago, and that was gifted to her." So maybe whenever you subscribe to Abby Jimenez's newsletter, she will just gift you the story, but it's a bonus story. It's like a bonus epilogue after part of your world called "All Roads Lead to Here." And did you guys all get a chance to read it?
I did.
I didn't.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about who it follows?
What now?
Do you want to talk about who it follows?
I
Or
kind
does
of
that
do, but I'm afraid to because it doesn't say until the very end, and that's kind of I think part of the fun. So I probably shouldn't. I don't know. I don't
I feel like if you read the book, you can guess who it
I was
was.
about to say, I was like, yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
Well, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
But yes, if you don't want to spoil it, don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just say that it is. I can't believe what she can do with 24 pages. I
Yeah.
had goosebumps.
I teared up.
You teared up. Me
I did.
too. Dana.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. I would say this is required reading for anyone that loves Abby Jimenez and loved Part of Your World. Definitely. You could either email me at beingpositive@gmail.com. EAING. Or maybe if you sign up for Abby Jimenez's newsletter, or if it doesn't work out, just message me anywhere, on Instagram. Mama needs to read romance, whatever. Find me. I will help you. I will forward it to you.
Yes.
But you'll love it. You'll just love it. I don't want to ruin anything for anybody, but yeah.
I would love a full novel. Like,
yes.
Would love a full story.
Yeah. Even a novella. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Anything she wants to give us, we'll take it.
Yeah. She could write me her grocery list and I'd read it with rapture. I'd be like, give it
totally.
to me, give it to me.
Like tomatoes.
Least favorite, Alexis's parents. My goodness, what awful people. Yeah, they were not great. They were not great. Love that Lola's. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just like about her mom. It's like because you can kind of see. I'm not like making excuses for her mom because obviously like things were happening, but like you can almost kind of see like the foreshadowing of like if Alexis would have stayed with Neil, she would have been her mom. Like at least like when I read it, especially on that like second read, I think of like being able to take it in even more of just like there's a sadness I think when I think of her mom, like just knowing that she's with she's with Neil. Basically, just like a different Neil with a different name, and been with him her entire life. Just like how Alexis said, like if she never found out that he was cheating, she probably would have stayed with Neil, and like it would have been like so it's like I feel like there's a teensy bit like of sympathy like for her mom, just to know of like she just unfortunately stayed or couldn't get out, and Abby even has that little thing at the end about like how many it takes like 7 times roughly for somebody to be able to get out of a abusive relationship of any kind. And so like it makes you sad a little bit, like for her mom, just to know like she wasn't somebody who was able to get out. Kind of like
potentially didn't even notice that she was. Because she didn't notice. Alexis didn't realize what was happening until she stepped away from the situation.
Right.
And then was like, oh, maybe this wasn't, what I wanted or what was happening. And until she sought counseling and like figured out what was going on. And like, so maybe that mom, she sees it as okay. And then she's learned to like play with his moods and walk on those eggshells and then forcing her kids to do it. I was like, oh gosh, Abby just knows how to throw a gut punch.
Doesn't she?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I loved it.
Yeah. And I love that they have at the end of the book resources for people that maybe see themselves or probably someone they know maybe in the situations like that, because, you know, the emotional and the verbal, I think, like she said, I think there's a lot of people that deal with that and they just don't have any idea. They're just like, oh, well, they're just difficult, or this is just how it is. And, you know, I've known people in my family that are absolutely like that, those that have those dynamics. And then I taught for 10 years in elementary school. So, and I, you know, you any teachers, you see the family dynamics. And I've sat through so many conferences where you see both parents and you're like,
it all makes sense now.
Yeah.
not nice one.
The apple does not fall far from the tree.
Right?
In some cases.
I really, I'm so impressed with what Abby, again, like she finds these really heavy topics and she finds a way. I feel like maybe there had to have been readers who didn't realize what they were going through until they read this book. And then I hope that was something that they were able to then better, you know, improve their lives in some way. You know, I'm just so impressed. How does she do all of this and have a cupcake shop? I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And be a parent, like, on top of all of that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I would never compare apples to apples to the type of, like, abusive relationships, but I feel like those type of abusive relationships, like emotional and mental ones, are just so much more sneaky. It's so much harder to catch than something like a physical. And it's nothing is worse or better than the other. It's just like, I think it's harder to see sometimes, especially if you're not in their life all the time as a bystander, you know, it's so much harder to catch those things. And so I think it's really important to talk about those type of relationships because it's not the only type of abuse, you know?
And I love the conversation that Alexis has with Daniel, because he's like, well, what can we do? And so she basically says, like, these are the ways to support someone who's going through that. Because a lot of, you know, people who know other people, it's like, well, how do you support them? How do you help them through? And just getting resources to know how to help someone else is so great too, and just build right into the story.
I also love that, like, Alexis, like, that is what was shown to her, and that's what she thought love was, and that's why she was so drawn to Neil. And then, like, to take a step back and see that that's not what love is. And I was like, oh, that's so, like, beautifully written.
Yes.
I loved it.
Really shakes her foundation.
Yes.
And I would say too, I would like to expound on that. I think she felt that way with her friends too. She lived in such, and this is reviews, people that have reviewed and have said they don't like Alexis. And I would, and I get it, like this concern over her being just holier than thou, and I'm so rich and I'm so entitled and things like that. But she was definitely different, I think, than her friends. But I think she just thought this is what friends were like too. This is what my girl is like. I never thought about dropping my shoes on the floor and how that would impact the maid or whatever. Like, I've never cleaned it. That she just never valued those things. And it was neat to see her growth as a character.
Yeah, she calls herself out on it. Like, you know, and just like, I didn't think 2 seconds about, I didn't clean those. It wasn't worth that, you know?
Yeah. And she had Jessica and what's her face? Not Jessica, the other friend. Amber?
Gabby.
Gabby and Jessica were her friends. And she's just like, these are my friends. So again, like Neil, Jessica, Gabby, she's just realizing this is not how it's
it was like her whole circle. But Daniel was there to like make fun of her for like not knowing how to peel a potato. Like, you know, he like showed her how to do those. Yeah. Because she didn't grow up with having to do that, you know, or needing to.
Yeah, you're only a oh, sorry, Karina.
That was just so like beautiful that he kind of like held her hand and walked her through it instead of like making fun of her, you know?
Yeah.
Demeaning her like Neil did.
Yeah. And I feel like when it comes to Alexis as a character, you're only a byproduct of what you're taught. And that's all she was taught. She wasn't around people that didn't have money. She grew up in her life around people that surrounded with money and privilege. And like, I mean, I'm not saying that that's an excuse for anybody, but you're only a product of what you see in the world around you. And that's all she saw until she, you know, got experience of something different. So
I think that affected too, like her family dynamic also affected her self-esteem, which, you know, like she was never, like she said, like the golden child or the one that was going to take over. It was always going to be her brother until it wasn't. And then it was never good enough for her dad. Like, so that also takes a hit too. Talking about like, you don't know your worth. And like Daniel saw that in her.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I love that. I think there was a line in there where she was like, "Know your worth," and I was like, "Oh,
Oh, yes. The whole scene.
sorry if that was your favorite. I'm so sorry." Love that Lola / Nikki got her happy relationship. Oh,
Yeah,
Especially from the
that
first
little Easter egg was great.
yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah.
Parents are just a mess. A
Truly.
mess.
Mhm.
Honestly, Alexis herself is on my list of least favorite characters a few times, talking about getting in your own way. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Her dad and Neil were my least favorites. Her mom's probably jealous her daughter got out and found another way / happiness.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
in
good.
that way.
Yeah. Wow.
All right.
Wow.
Let's switch gears. Oh, sorry, Karina, did you want to say something?
I just wanted to mention something because Tara brought up Easter eggs.
Oh, wait.
Right? So there was one thing, obviously, we wouldn't have known had we not read the prior series, but Alexis also dated Adrian.
Yes. Wait. Right?
Yeah. It was mentioned like she dated a lawyer. I don't remember actually the page, but that was
And it didn't work out.
sprinkled in there. Yeah. It was just like one date.
That could have very well been, part of the reason why. Because Jessica, her friend, her husband is Marcus,
Yeah.
who
Mhm.
works with
He works in
Adrian.
the firm. Mhm.
Mm.
Is
Yeah.
that crazy?
Love this.
Where
That
She's
was
so
like-
Taylor coded. I
Yeah.
guess. Oh.
She's
Yo, I'm
great.
gonna
He's got Nadia cake,
Lines.
right? The Nadia cakes for the raccoon groom's cake. How funny was that?
All right. Well, since we're on the topic of Easter eggs, let's just skip to this question here. Did
Okay,
you pick up on any Easter eggs in future books in the series, or any Easter eggs from the previous series?
Yeah.
So I think there was a couple of fun ones. Like
Yes.
there was a mention of Daniel wearing a Jackson Waters T-shirt.
Mhm.
Yes.
That was
So
fun,
like
yeah.
there was then of course Nadia Cakes, Lola, which is a big one, which I feel like we
Yeah.
need her book. Can we just get her book?
I know.
I just want to see how it all played out. But anything else that you guys picked up on, even for like future books? That I know. I'm sorry, Tara. I know you haven't read them, but for those that are rereads on the first time, did you guys catch anything?
I don't want to say anything, I guess, for future stuff, but all these little like invisible strings and whatnot to the past that we've read so far it's just so fun to see.
Mhm.
And she truly is Taylor coded. Like you can see a Taylor fan. Oh, she gets it.
I was gonna say
Right.
I found one at the very end that I tagged,
Ooh.
but it says there was even a famous vlogger here, a big donor for the ALS clinical trials Brian was doing, and I was like, "Is that Vanessa?"
Yes.
Me, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Love that.
yeah. Megan found that same one.
Okay.
Yes.
I just
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, I
It's
love
just
it.
so
I had
fun.
to tag it.
Yeah. What a
Ooh,
good
I have an interesting one here. And Josh is Daniel's cousin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, which means that, and he also said Adrian too is his cousin, because Josh and Adrian are cousins.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Daniel is Josh and Adrian's cousin.
One big family. I love it. Grant are so prominent,
Cinnamon Roll Heroes.
right?
Mhm.
The Grants are like a big name in Wacom. Is it Wacom?
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
So I just love that she kind of just, there's roots, deep rooted strings.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This one is not as exciting, but they mentioned that Nikki Lola's husband, not her husband, but her agent Ernie attended the wedding. He was the only one there that attended, and of course, he's also Jackson Waters' agent, who we got to see plenty of in the second
Yeah.
book. Yeah, so that was kind of cool.
Mhm.
Yes, her friend's husband is Adrian's boss. I need an Abby Universe movie. Yeah.
Right?
I'm telling
Right
you,
now.
I'm putting a board up and we're connecting all the dots like we're
Yeah.
serious readers.
I love it.
I'm just kidding.
Amazing.
Sounds amazing.
Real readers. I'm just kidding.
I love it. That's so cute.
That would be so fun. I love it. Oh my gosh. How fun.
Y'all, the best Easter egg connection of all of Abby's connections isn't just for the summer. Y'all, I was gagged. Yeah, that one is crazy. That one is crazy.
Oh my goodness.
Yes!
So many things coming up. Liz, you're funny.
That family of men that can get it. Yeah. All of them. All of them.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
Abby wrote it, so.
All right.
Mhm.
The age gap between the two characters played a significant role in the relationship. How important do you think age is in a relationship, and do you agree with Alexis's reservations?
I agree with her reservations initially. I think, like, especially with how she was raised, like how we talked about, like how she was raised, I feel like it's more common in those places to kind of have a younger woman with an older man, like how she said nobody batted an eye between her and Neil. Like
Oh,
that
yeah.
wasn't the thing to even like
Mhm.
look at by any ways, you know? So I agree with her reservations in the beginning to kind of just be like, you know, I'm so much older. Like, why would you want to tie tie yourself to me? So I feel like she's right in the beginning. I mean, over time, obviously, it's like, let it go, babe. But like in the
Mhm.
beginning, I
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
I think she was also guarded with, like, after what she went through with Neil. So
Yeah.
it just took her longer to open up and
Mm-hmm.
allow herself to see herself in an actual relationship with him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which I feel like makes sense. Like you said, like what she went through with Neil, it's like anybody would be, you
Yeah.
know, a little bit of a wall up, need a
Yeah.
little time to break that down.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's only 6 years older than Neil's son.
Yeah.
I feel like she kind of she was using her age as an excuse in the beginning because she wasn't
Mhm.
sure
Mm-hmm.
if she wanted to put like her heart out there again too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I have to say though, when I first read this book and she saw his ID and she's like, he's 28, I was like, get it, girl. All right. I was
right?
Yeah, we're cheering her on. We're cheering her
and he could not have cared less. When
Yeah.
he says that he would be happy to lose 1 or 2 decades if that would mean that she would like accept him. I was like, oh my gosh. I mean,
I love that man.
he's so beautiful.
I love that man.
I love him so much. When
Yeah.
Zachary Weber does him, when they're on the phone, I know who
Oh my gosh.
Oh, so
crying.
good.
He made me. My children thought I was crazy. That last fourth of the book, I was
I'm
crying.
sobbing.
Like folding towels and I'm like. But I mean, Zachary Weber, the way he was like, "Don't do this, Alexis. Don't make me leave you." And I'm like, "Oh no!" I mean, it's so good. It's so good. Anyway, sorry, random.
No.
And that just shows to her depth of like writing that like she could make you so emotional just because like Daniel was so emotional. Like I feel like when men get emotional in books, that's the end for me. It's over for me.
The
I'm
voice
puddle on the
crack.
floor. Yeah, the voice crack, I'm done. So I just love her writing and I love her men.
I love it. I love it.
I agree with the reservations, but a lot because men are already delayed in mentality in life and not sure younger would work, but he's an old soul.
Mm.
Good point.
He's definitely an old soul, for sure.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, Bree tried it. Remember, that didn't work out for her.
Yeah.
She's like, he had an Xbox and a TV and a bed on the
Yeah.
floor.
There's no headboard. It's not
Bree was so funny when she's like, the men on our time, it's not going to do it for us. Remember when she was talking about the different age? She's like, 28 is perfect. You can train them. They've got all the stamina. The men from our time, they're not going to do it. They've already they're back from golf.
Which is accurate.
Anyway.
So good. We spent so much time talking about Alexis's family legacy at the hospital, but I recognized that there was a parallel legacy going on in Wakan with Daniel's own family that's no less important / impactful.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, she didn't want to let him like give that up, but he was
Yeah.
willing to. you know.
Yeah. There was even a point in the book I remember where like Alexis like not only recognized that he also has a legacy, but I think she also even said that like it's more important for Grant to be in Wakan than for, you know, a Montgomery to be
You're
in
right.
Royum. Yeah. So it's definitely, it was very cool to have that parallel and just it be like obviously like one is very like glitz and glam side of importance, right? And then another is very just like boots on the ground kind of.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like he's like he said, he's like we all kind of just do everything, and like we're the last line of defense or the first line of defense, really, you know. And so, but yeah, I think it was cool how she like B said, like the growth that we got to see in Alexis and like her being able to recognize like my legacy is like important too, obviously, you know, because even how she said like a Montgomery not being at the hospital would cost millions of dollars in people donating to do certain things. So it's like both very important, but I like how she didn't discredit his importance and his legacy, you know?
Yeah.
Speaking of, let's skip a couple of things down because I was actually wanted to talk about this. How do you think the pressure was handled on both sides? And if you were in either one of their shoes, would you have made any different choices?
Ooh, good question.
Hard question.
Mm-hmm. I think in Daniel's case, I don't think I would have made any different choices. I think he handled it well. I think Alexis is kind of the one where her decision and the time that it took for her to make the decision, I think maybe I would have made some different choices there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just feel like I feel bad for Daniel because you hear about his like mom and that like that just it's got to be so hard. And then he lost his grandparents on the same day. And he's been through it and he just needs the love of Alexis, okay?
Yes.
Yeah. I like how Alexis kind of was able to find that path to kind of fuse those two together.
Yeah.
I probably would have crumbled and stayed miserable if I was Alexis.
I love though how you said like how she fused like but it not only helped like her, but it also helped her brother and what was going on someplace else, right? Like with being like now they're getting money, like they're gonna get the backing of a major hospital with tons of donors. Like it's like you said, that fusion of it. And I just love that like she didn't leave out her brother in that situation and figured out a way to really like just
everyone wins in that situation.
Yeah.
Yes. Because he's obviously not happy about it, but they're still within the hospital, you know. So
yeah.
That
I like
ending
said,
was so
sorry. Go ahead.
That ending was just so masterful. Just how she was able to do her own speech, really bring about an incredible resolution, and then the ending. But I won't
like a mic drop.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking Alexis, like talking about like Taylor Swift. I was like, oh, pathological people pleaser, and I was like, that just like goes in my brain. And I was like, that's
yes.
Oh,
I also like Dana how you said like no one got left behind in that like decision that she made, but I think one of the most important people that didn't get left behind was Lola. Like she made the decision knowing that Lola was going to have a very big impact on the money that was made on that side of the decision. And like she was like, I hope that one day like they'll see that she did just as much as he's doing and I'm doing and we're doing. And I think that was a really beautiful like thing to include.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look at the journey.
Yes.
Yeah.
We need her book.
Like I need air in my lungs. I need her book.
I love it.
Both situations. Oh, also, I'm sorry. I said hi, but I wanted to make sure we said hi. Hi, Daphne.
Hey, Daphne.
Both situations were so hard. I honestly didn't know how Abby would resolve it, but I loved how she did. Very well done. Alexis's decision to not ever tell Daniel what was going on with Neil and the house drove me crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that scene where he goes to visit her in the hospital with the flowers and they're all, did you know that he's living with her and they're in counseling? And I was just like, no. I mean, after the fourth read, right?
I was like, trust her, Daniel, trust her.
I know.
I did like how Neil was the only one in that scene that like shook his hand and didn't look at him like he was, the dirt under their shoe. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
what a
Yeah,
moment
that
of
was
growth for him.
That was
Yeah.
impressive. That was impressive.
Therapy works, y'all. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
at that point, he had been, against his will, I guess, but going, and I guess we could see some improvement in Neil in that. But I do agree that her not telling was crazy. I mean, I understand, like, in the beginning, not saying anything, because everybody does not need to know your business. But, like, as, like, they're going along and things are getting so much more, like, obviously, like, intense and whatnot, and, like, and she knows so much about him, I just feel like she could have gave him a little bit, like, told him a little bit, just, like, what's going on,
Yeah.
But, again, like, it wouldn't be a book if everything played out perfectly. It'd be like a 3-page book, right? So,
Megan felt the same. That scene at the hospital broke my heart. Yeah. And I just oh.
No, go
Go ahead,
ahead.
Karina.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I just love that even in the face of all of that, seeing all of that kind of come to a head, and Daniel kind of walked into, like, blindsided. He still had so much grace. He was just like, handed the flowers, it's like, call me when you get off. And it's just like the way that he just took it all in and in stride was, oh, I love that man.
Because Grace
Yeah. Thread that ties everything together. No, but I was just gonna say, like, I can just see him in his, nicest attire with like a bouquet of flowers for his girl, and him just like deflate after like all of that. Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
And then Bree comes in, so we're
Thank goodness
Yeah.
for
thank goodness.
Thank
for Bree.
goodness for Bree.
Yeah. I haven't read the future books, but do we think Neil will actually change? I want to believe in him. I guess that's to
You'll
be
have to read.
determined.
Yeah.
The hope will be alive. I keep hope alive.
Yeah.
After reading this book,
I have hope because Abby. Abby
Yeah.
will do it for us.
If anybody could do it, Abby can do it, right?
Right.
It was sad that Alexis truly didn't think that she was allowed to leave the hospital, and it wasn't until Bree told her that she realized she had freedom.
Mm.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy? Like sometimes someone just telling you that will like flip a switch in your brain because like it's so blinded to like what's in front of you and like you can't see
Yes.
other possibilities.
Mhm.
And it was like drilled into her since she was like born, like you were a Montgomery's gonna be at Ryum, like
And all the people that she surrounded herself with pretty much reinforced that. I mean, how many times even Bree said it at one point, like earlier in the book, like, how's your dad going to feel about that? What's your dad going to say about that? Like even her and the other girlfriends, when they were driving to that scene, when they go to the bed and breakfast and she realizes where they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh. But they were the same thing. Like, oh, how did your dad feel? Everybody sort of thought of him as the big boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even like other friends, like I can't remember which one of the friends, but the one that she first was talking to that was with her when they were walking around the block or whatever, when Neil and the police were first at the house to like let him back in. But even she was just talking about how miserable she is in her marriage, but like I'm stuck. This is what I have to do. Oh yeah, he hasn't touched me in 6 years. She was like, but what do you want? Like she's like, this is what life is. And so it's like, it's even sad, like, and that I think again, like how we just keep talking about, like, I mean, at this point, this is just an Abby Jimenez fan club, but like just about how she writes like these characters who, like, even when they're wrong, sometimes you can still find like a redemptive thing or like something like that your heart goes out to them. Because even though her, girlfriends really were not great friends and not people she should have around her, really, like you can also see like the torture in them, like of just thinking like this is truly what life is, and like them not knowing that no, you can be like a strong independent woman, you can still be successful, because they were still doctors, like they were still working at the hospital with her, like they weren't, what I'm saying? Like it's like you could still be a strong independent, not, you don't even have to be a doctor, I'm not saying that because I'm, Lord knows I'm not a But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like that. It's like they had all the capabilities still to be independent on their own and didn't think that they were allowed to. Like, I have to stay with him. For
And
what?
they even thought that she was going to go back to Neil. That was never a thought in their mind that she was going to leave him.
Right.
Because they don't think that they can leave.
Exactly. It makes you sad for them. Like irritated. I'm like, stop saying that to Alexis. She doesn't need to hear that. But then also on the other side, it's like sad that like that's even their thought process. And it's like, because there are real people like that who really go through so much and but really think like I have no choice. I've got to stay. And
Yeah.
it's just like,
That makes me
sad.
think of the saying, like, you accept the love you think you deserve.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that saying so much.
It's so sad when you think about it like that, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Oh, wow, that made me emo.
Sorry.
That's a quote that I have that's stuck with me since I was a kid. Because I mean, I've been around a lot of people in my life that have gone through abusive relationships, and it's like, it's true. You really do accept things that you think that you deserve. And I feel like that's taught. Like, you're taught that.
Yeah.
And then it goes through the rest of your life. And so I think it's just like, when people are able to break out of that and see so much about what they're worth, it's like almost like magical,
Yeah.
you know?
I thought it was interesting how Jimenez chose to do, somebody who, our main character, obviously, who's dealing with emotional and verbal abuse, and then also to include Liz. She didn't have to necessarily write these characters in, but she chose to deal with somebody that was, at a level that anyone would recognize as abusive, and just see how they were able to understand one another's, like, the internal workings of their mind. Like the quote that you just said, Karina, doesn't she say something similar to, is it Daniel, when he's like, why is she with him? And you just said she doesn't think she deserves better than that.
Yeah.
And I just found that fascinating, and the way that they were able to connect to each other.
I'm also begging for their story.
Yes.
Yes. There was a part.
We definitely need that. We need that.
I think it's good to see, like, you can tell, like, I don't want to, it's hard to get out of those relationships, and sometimes those relationships don't end in that happily ever after. So to give Liz that is amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I liked that aspect, but I know that's not always the case in real life.
Sure.
And Karina, what were you going to say?
There was a part where I just remember them at like the bar, and they were talking about Liz and like her situation, and Doug says something like, "Oh, women love a-holes," and Alexis says something back. What did she say? Sorry, I was not prepared for this.
No, you're good.
But let me get my ebook up.
Okay, while you're doing that, I'm going to run through this. Liz just said that Megan has to stay tuned.
Yeah.
And that makes Megan excited. Me too. That's how the men kept, and parents kept control because they fear they wouldn't be able to do it alone.
Mm-hmm.
When you become the anomaly and show people different, it's scary because it is different. Yeah.
Good point.
I love books that like talk about like breaking of cycles in families.
Yes.
They're just so intriguing.
Yes.
And I feel like she does a good job of like making it lighthearted too. Even though these are deeper and harder topics to read, she does it so well.
Yeah.
Did you find it?
I did. So Alexis's response to him, because obviously, she's dealt with Neil and thankfully was able to get away from that. She said, "Nobody likes a-holes. Sometimes that's just what you think you deserve." And
Yeah.
it's just hurts your heart a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's lighten things up maybe just a little bit. Favorite scenes or quotes from the book?
Everything.
Everything. Amazing.
I'm just kidding.
That never fails to make me laugh is the ring light scene. Always. I think I have it highlighted like that whole time.
I love how he's like, and that picture got her. He's like, I saved this. My wingman did.
Yeah.
He's
I like how he was like, "Don't do anything until I get there."
Okay.
He's like, I'm not taking a picture. I'm just setting it up.
Yeah. And they were like giving him like posing options, like you know,
He was on speakerphone.
speakerphone. Yeah.
The part when he was like, "Great, so I'm on speakerphone."
So funny.
It's so good.
I do have a quote, and it is a little. It's part of what we were talking about earlier, so I just want to say it before we go into like the better scenes. But the quote, I don't even know what page it's on because I took a picture with my phone. But she's talking to Liz, and she says, "Liz, I want to tell you something I wish people would have told me once. I believe you. I can handle anything you need to tell me. You don't need to protect me from the truth, and I'm here to help in any way I can. It's not your fault, and you don't deserve it." And that was just like so powerful. I love that quote so much.
Powerful.
I really liked it's just more of a scene or like a part of the book, but I really liked that Alexis kind of like told Daniel that the dog was deaf and that's why.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wouldn't have even thought about it, but like, of course, that she knows that as like a doctor.
Yeah.
It's like, that's great.
I know. And she says it's so like it's so obvious. Like, why didn't you mention that earlier?
Yeah.
Right.
But he's deaf, Daniel. Well, I didn't know.
One of the things that I loved, like, okay, you know how Doug is kind of like a little bit of like our comedic relief throughout the book for the most part, but one of my favorite parts is when, like, you know, when the town surprises Alexis with like the spaghetti, was it like a spaghetti dinner? Well, first off, I mean, that was incredible. A great scene, a great part of the book. But I love when Doug, like, as funny as he is and how unserious as he is a lot of times, when he was like, "Can you teach me what you did?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Because I need to know, because I would have ruined that." Like, and it was just like the gravity of like their, you know, small town living, of just knowing that like Doug and his jokester self, that's what's keeping you alive, babe. Like,
Yeah.
Doug, you know, but just how it's like, even through all his jokes, like how he takes his role in the town so serious, and just like that he wanted to learn so that he was never, it would never be in that position to let somebody down. Just,
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
she basically said that if she wasn't there, the baby wouldn't have made
Yep.
it. And I was
Yeah.
like, ugh, like just heartbreaking for like everybody involved, the entire town, really.
Yeah.
Because they're so
Yeah.
close-knit and small, and like, ugh, and like the town gets what it needs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that like little moment of "Here comes the cavalry" when she's like, "What is everyone doing?" And he's like, "We're doing what we always do. We're being here for the people that we care about." And I was just like,
Yeah.
Small town for the win.
yes.
Okay, Dana, you brought up Doug.
Yes.
So you know how in the beginning, like when Doug was kind of going through like one of his darker moments, and Dana was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna stay with you for like 20 more minutes or something like that," right?
Yeah.
And then like towards the end, when Daniel was down in the dumps, like Doug was really there for him, and that was just so beautiful to kind of see them like switch roles in a sense.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm telling you, we
there's
need
too many good things.
too many. The whole book from page 1 to the end.
Let's open and just start reading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's start it again right now. Oh my
One
gosh.
of my favorites from Daniel is "Losing Alexis would alter me forever, like the rings in a tree. You could open me up 50 years from now and see when it happened, see the damage. I was ruined. I'd never be as good ever again." I was like, okay, Daniel, okay.
He was.
I'll throw up right now.
All right, I need to put it down. No more quotes.
I have a fun
The
scene.
last 50 pages. Wait, what's
A fun scene?
Yeah, another funny one.
Okay.
Okay.
It's the brunch scene with the squirrel.
Oh my
Yes! Yes!
That was good.
god. Oh, so good.
That was good. Could you just like imagine like trying to eat your like pancakes and like all of that happens? Like, my God.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you think it's a cute toy. Plot twist is it's a real squirrel. Like,
My favorite part is when they're outside and the French toast just flop off of her.
Yes. And it's like the last little like
Yeah.
no.
I love
And then
it.
the girls start getting pelted with those walnuts or
Yes.
Yeah.
The
whatever.
town.
I was like, wow.
There's the magic of the town right there.
Yeah.
Right?
Open.
I do love like in that whole kind of like scene, like or in that like bed and breakfast trip, the girls trip. I love that Alexis kind of used a little bit of her powers for good or evil, however you want to say it, about selling his stuff, and like wouldn't even let him talk. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
$5,000. What a steal! I'll take
Yeah.
it right now. Like, and I just
Exactly.
love it. Like, she used her powers for good. Like,
Yes.
recognizing the privilege and like what they have access to, and being like, "Bet you want to try and ruin him? Now you're gonna be what saves him." Like,
Yeah.
and then turn it into a full business. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
and about like something he loves, because he even says in there that like he does not like running a bed and breakfast, but he's doing it to keep the house. And just knowing that like him being able to start this like career doing something he loves with woodworking is going to be able to like get him the house to be his house and not
Yeah.
his business. And I just love how she just like swooped in and like flipped it, and then now it became like a full-fledged like business.
Yeah.
I love how he like increased the prices, and he's like, "Well, if you just don't care," and people were buying him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because
Like,
people with money want what they think is exclusive.
right?
Yes.
One of a kind.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
One of a kind.
I love a good yes, I love that. Oh, sorry. I love a good oh yes, Karina. I have that version too.
Yep.
I love it
It's
so much.
so
But I love a good emotional love scene. I mean, and she does these so well. I mean, they're not all that, graphic or anything, which I don't really care, but I love the way that she makes it so emotional. And for me, like the quotes that I just love were things where times where it could have just been spicy and he took it and just made it so emotional. Like at one point she goes, "How do you do that?" And he goes, "I pay attention to you.
Oh,
It matters to me." And I don't think she could even look at him after he said that. It just made her so emotional. She just never experienced that. And the other part I love that goes along with that, and I found to be pretty funny too, when she was like, and it leads up to the ring light, I think, because she's got a robe on and he's like, "Take a picture." And she's like, and then she's like, "What would you do to me?" And he goes, "I would tell you how much I love you, and I would blah blah, how you mean so much." And she goes, "Sorry, I guess that wasn't really foreplay." And she goes, "It was."
yeah. She did actually.
How he totally flipped it and made it this beautiful, gorgeous, emotional moment. I just love that.
What a gem he is.
I know.
Absolute
Really.
gem.
And of course, one of my favorite scenes, I love how she does like the big endings, like in Happy Ever After playlist at the concert. It's kind of like the same vibe for me, where he comes down looking like Scott Eastwood, wearing his tux, coming down those stairs, and she runs into his arms across a ballroom. And then, of course, I love when they include the music with Spandau Ballet playing True. So you can hear that in your mind if you know that song, while they're dancing and kissing and talking. And I was just like, I feel like I'm watching a movie. I just love it.
And I love how it's like they're the only ones on the dance floor. She says that, and I was like, "Oh gosh."
I just love. Yes, they did. I just love the way it ended. She's like, "Kiss me, Daniel Grant," and he's like right here in front of everyone, and he goes, "As you wish."
I love the references to Princess Bride.
Yeah.
Yes.
I melted.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh, so good.
So good.
The petals floating was beautiful. And I love that happened twice. And I think what he said is like, we got to see the magic again or something. And I was just like,
yeah.
oh, so good. The pixie is so funny. Of course, the quote that gets repeated several times, "Grace costs you nothing." Such a good quote.
It's a good quote.
Yeah. Fave quote, you know what's so dangerous about drowning is silent. So unless someone's paying close attention to you, no one saves you.
Oh,
Damn.
deep.
Damn.
So
And
good.
I feel like Bree was one that paid close attention to her and saw, and
Yeah.
then obviously Daniel. And I was just like, oh, so beautiful.
So beautiful.
Good.
Yeah, me too. I'm flushed.
I know what book my husband's reading next.
Yeah.
I need him to go to a small town.
There you go. Yes.
Yes. All right. I think I had a few in between, but I think we touched on everything pretty well. I'm gonna end things off with a kind of a goofy little question for you guys.
Fun.
Mm.
Who would be on your zombie apocalypse team?
It's a good question.
Wow. I think I have to say my husband.
Yeah.
Because he's very resourceful and like he's an engineer, so he could like, you know, finagle things as needed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
I feel like mine would be my husband as well. However, he might leave me and just take the kids.
I mean, but he's gonna be on the show.
Because he gets annoyed when like I've been to some place like a million times in our town, and like he's like, you can't drive without the mapping it.
Landmarks?
No.
I need the GPS all the time.
He's
I
like,
know,
we're not gonna
good
make
time.
it.
I would like you to take this information with a grain of salt, but my husband is the same way. On that same flip side coin, I'm going to say my husband, because if anyone can protect me with a little pew pew, you know, it would be my husband. He's great at that. I love that for him. But it's a team, so I'm also bringing along my father-in-law, because I swear that man can do anything. I call him every time something bad happens. I'm like, the sink is loose. Can you help me? He's like, sure. I called him one time when my car light went on, and I was like, this car light's on. What is it? He's like, oh, it's this and this and this. Just make sure you do this. I said, say less. Every time, I'm just going to call him. So he's coming on my team. He's coming on my team for sure.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sorry, Dad. You're not included in that list. But love you. Hope you
Yeah,
survive.
I would take my husband too, because he's very good at fixing things. Even like there was a light bulb just here before the show, and I'm like, this light bulb is blinking. Please help me. You know, like he just does all the things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely take him. So
Well, I don't have a husband, so it'd be my dad and my brother because I don't know how to do anything. Okay, like, I don't know how to do anything.
Dad and a brother.
There was this one time. Oh, it's embarrassing, but we had like a hurricane come through, and there's a door that we literally never open. Okay, like it never opens; it stays locked. Nobody goes out this door. They go see outside, and I was like, I got to make sure everything is secure. And I unlocked the door and didn't know that like it had been closed for so long that like something had warped. And so when I unlocked it, it literally would not lock back. And literally the wind is starting. I'm talking about like hurricanes about to come through. And I was literally slamming this door because the door would not close. Like I'm slamming this door, trying to get it to close. And I was like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. And then I was like, Dad. And then my dad's like, oh my God, why would you do that? And I was like, I don't know yet. Like,
Did you just say, I'm just a girl?
I'm just literally just a girl. Like we had to call my brother because I guess there was like an extra lock somewhere. So then my dad and brother had to like put the door back together. But I'm freaking out and I was like, it's fine. I'll hold the door the whole hurricane.
She's like, I got this. The hurricane ain't winning.
I will. Like it was so stressful. So basically,
I can't imagine.
I'm the weak link, but I need help. I need my GPS for basically everything. Kaylani laughed at me one day because we were talking and she was talking about her husband needing the GPS for things. And I was like, yeah, I do that too. And she was like, oh my God. And I said, I don't know where I'm going. I can go to work. I can go to work. That's almost it.
Community, and literally, the grocery store was 2 minutes away. My husband got lost 5 times.
Okay, I'm
We
not
lived
that
there for a year and a half. I said, it's 2 minutes. It's 2 minutes.
bad. Has he been there to that grocery store before?
Yes, all the time.
Okay, see, I'm not that bad. If I've been there like a million times, sure.
Yeah.
But like, also, maybe I just need it for security. Like my
I think the comfort.
feel
Also,
better, yeah.
yeah,
When I
I'm
can
a
see the
passenger
direction.
princess, so I'm not paying attention when you're driving there.
Right.
Oh, for real.
Read the book, okay?
Me either.
My husband is terrible. He's got GPS, but he keeps forgetting to look at it for
And so he
whatever
just
reason.
misses
I'm like,
his
you
exit."
didn't turn. You were gonna. Why didn't you? And then he's like, I was going to, or whatever. And then I'll start telling him, like, did you get a turn? He's like, I can see. I'm like, okay. Can you?
Dana,
Sure.
your story reminded me when I was young, my backyard was on fire.
What?
And so I was home alone, and our backyard was on fire. And
gosh.
me thinking that I could save the world was out
Oh,
there
dear.
with this little itty bitty cup. I would keep running from the sink to trying to put it out.
Oh
And
my
then I called my grandma. I was like, Grandma, the backyard's on fire. She's like, did you call the 911? She's like, no, I called you first.
Oh!
So maybe I'm not the best in emergency situations. I think I just overthink it. I'm like, I can do it. I can do it.
Oh my
I put on my
gosh.
big girl pants. I can do this.
And that's the problem. I'm delusional enough to be like, I'll figure it out. Like,
Yeah.
but reality is I probably need help. But
Oh.
I can do
Help
it.
me.
Yeah.
Thank God the neighbors were home because they did all the heavy lifting. I was just out there with my little cup. And then when the fire was out, you just see the cup sitting in the yard.
Little cup in the yard.
My fiance, he can hunt and fish to help us survive. I definitely would die first without him.
This is
Me
true,
too.
Megan. Yep. My husband will
character-
test me and see, like, he's like, what direction are we going right now? And I was like,
Don't ask me hard questions.
he's like, you should know that this, and this. I don't even know what he's talking about. And I was like,
No, if you tell me something is on like the northeast corner of what and what, I'm like, if you
No,
don't
no,
just tell me what's on that corner, is it a
What is it,
Walgreens or
Vi?
is it a McDonald's? Don't ask me hard questions.
Yes.
Listen,
Yeah.
there was one time my uncle got so mad at me and my cousin, and we were grown. Like I was like we were grown. Okay. And she was in town and she was at my apartment. And so, like she'd flown in, so she didn't have her car. And so her dad was coming to pick her up. And at that time I was living in this is not like private, but like I went to school at UCF. So that's in Orlando. So I was living in Orlando.
ooh.
Like he was not like that's not where like we're from. And
Mhm.
so my uncle was coming to pick her up because I picked her up from the airport. And so she spent like a couple days with me and then she was going, home. And so I sent him the address. I'm sorry, his GIPS wasn't working. That's what me and my roommate call it, a GPS. We call it the GIP. Well, we need the GIP all the time. So I'm sorry that his wasn't working up to the standards that it needed to work at. And he was just like, okay, but I'm going north. Do I turn left or right? And like he's getting so mad at us. And we were on the phone and we were like, why do you think we know the answer to that? Like, stop asking. Like he just kept asking it. And we were like, it doesn't matter how many times you say it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a compass. I don't know. Like, I don't know what to tell you, sir. And so, like,
Definitely one of my children, my youngest child, he has gotten his dad's personality as far as like directions go. So hopefully we'll make it.
Someone's gonna save you. It's not gonna be me, but someone's gonna save you.
we had to tell my aunt, we had to tell his wife later, like, yeah, he was yelling at us about north, south, east, west. And she was like, I don't know why he thought you knew that. And I was like, none of us knew.
I know it on
Right?
me. not a globe.
You're right.
If it's spinning, I don't know. Oh my goodness.
Okay. From the characters in the book, I'd have to choose Daniel, Doug, and Bree. Bree's a doctor, but she's also scrappy. Daniel is strong and resourceful, and Doug is a medic and a former soldier.
Yeah,
Your
Oh,
team is
there you
set.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Stacked.
Yeah.
And I'm staying in Wakan because they know how to fortify. And you remember when they said like the flu, like nobody, like they know how to
Yes.
close it in, protect.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going. My refuge, Wakan.
There you
Yeah.
go.
You know, okay, and can I say one other thing about that? Talking about favorite quotes and the town and just how like they protect their own and everything. I love that Alexis said that her biggest feeling of accomplishment would come in like a yellowed old newspaper that's going to be on the side of the wall at the VFW of she and her husband doing the great things she knew they would do. That would be the best it would get. I just love that.
I love
I
that.
meant to mention that. I just thought that was so heartwarming.
That was beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Definitely me, my sister, and my mom. If there's a problem, my sister will solve it. I will drive the getaway car, and my mom will take us out if we get caught. Or talk us out of it if we get caught.
I love that.
I love it.
Amber's got
Those are
it.
some strong women right there.
That's
Yeah.
what we
Good to see
need.
it.
That's what we need.
Squad.
Landmarks.
Yeah.
Landmarks all
Landmarks.
the way. Landmarks all the way.
My dad, he knows all the pew-pews. Yeah, and a ton of random hobbies that can hopefully help us. He worked at a jail, so zombies ain't nothing. Zombies ain't got nothing on him.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, my husband and I, we took my sister-in-law and her boyfriend shooting this past weekend, and I was like, I've never been so like astonished by your skills. And I don't like pew-pews. They're not my favorite things. In fact, they make me nervous. But I was like, how are you doing this? They did like a shooting competition with like the clay pigeons. 12 out of 12. I said, sir, relax.
He's over there like, he's like, that's
Yeah, no, I literally, he was wearing all black with a backwards cap. And I said,
Oh.
please stop looking like this. I said, not in front of your sister.
You're like, this came out of nowhere.
Oh my gosh, too funny.
All right, I don't
funny.
think this is going to change anything, but we have to ask, have your ratings changed after this discussion?
No. Still a 5-star.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe a 6 now.
Right. Right.
That's the only possible change. It can only go up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Honestly.
Yes. Yes.
I did it once, and the little pew had too much ice power, so I was done. My dad can handle it. Those things are strong. Those things are strong.
They are. Nothing to play with.
No, yeah, they're not toys. I know. My husband was like, please, just shoot the shotgun one time. I was like, okay, just so you can stop asking me.
Did you fly
then it-
backwards?
No, but it did hit my shoulder. I said, I put it down. I'm done with this. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm just a girl.
Literally, that's the girl.
That's his job, not my job. I'm just
understand.
gonna sit back and be protected, okay?
There you go. There you go.
All right. That's it. That's all my questions.
Oh,
You guys had fun. Did we touch on? Oh my god, did we touch on everything? Is there anything else we missed?
I would just say, if you haven't had a chance, please don't forget, because it's so good to read All Roads Lead to Here. If you
Yes.
can, I'm happy to email it to you or see if you can get it through newsletter. But everybody, it's so good and you'll just love it. It's 24 pages. It goes super fast. So highly recommend before the next book. So
And then we want to talk about yours truly and when that's going to be.
okay, we all have the different ones.
Oh, that's so pretty. I need a special edition, apparently. Oh, my goodness. So,
Oh,
have we decided? Is it your channel, Dana?
I think
oh yeah, do we know?
I'm pretty sure it is, right?
And then,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
After that, it's still undecided.
Yes.
Yeah.
On the 2nd. So it's a quick one.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So if you want to get an
Everything
early
out,
start.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pick it up right now.
Right?
That's right. I always feel like going straight to the next book, you know? It's like, and then I'm like, wait a month? You know, yeah, it's going to be a quick one. You're right. It's going to be,
Yeah.
we'll be here before we know it.
Mhm.
I'm excited though.
Oh, so excited.
So excited.
So excited.
Thanks, Liz. All right. Well, all that to be said, thank you all so much for joining us and participating in the comments. This was such a fun discussion. Thank you to the wonderful ladies here. Love you guys so much. And if you are not already following everyone linked down below as well as their Instagrams, please go check them out. Show them some love. Subscribe and follow. And we will see you guys on the 2nd of February.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Take
Bye,
care, everybody.
everybody.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Have a good rest of your weekend.